Chapter 1. The only things that concerned the sheep were food and water. Yes, their days were all the same, with the seemingly endless hours between sunrise and dusk. While browsing through social media, you see endless posts of people's latest achievements. When you look at yourself, you feel average. You're not rock bottom, you're not a complete loser, but you'll never be great, you will never be special. When you were a kid, possibilities were endless. Now when you have been walking in this road for a quarter of your life and being confronted with countless incidents that make you realize you may just as average as the majority of people on this planet Earth, you panic. Because the possibilities of you being someone special in your lifetime is becoming slimmer and slimmer. These days, being average is another way to say being a failure. It saddens me when there are so many people even spiraling down into depression, haunted by this thought. I went through exactly the same thing about a year ago, so I know it wasn't a pleasant experience at all. I hate it when people say things like, it's okay to be average, the majority of people is average. It's like telling me to be settled with complacency. However, I also look down on advice that say, oh, you are more special than you think you are, follow your dream, do whatever you want, you can achieve anything. I have been enough grown up to know that these lies are like ice cream sold for teenagers. The only thing that helped me open my eyes was the realization of the truth behind this feeling. Chapter 2. The problem is that they don't even realize that they're walking a new road every day. They don't see that the fields are new and the seasons change. All they think about is food and water. Let's look at this cake and imagine this cake is what we're feeling right now. To understand it, we must firstly dissect it to see what's inside. This cake is covered with a layer of donuts with a taste of disappointment, sparsely sprinkled with envy. Inside is soft and sad with the nostalgia of a distant childhood dream. The recipe of this cake has been around a long time when human beings were still wandering on the vastness of savannas. The main recipe is seretonin, a hormone that has been proved to support the dominance hierarchy. The level of serotonin in one person fluctuates depending on how the person perceives their position in the society. The abundance of serotonin makes people happy and well-balanced. This cake seems to lack serotonin. It supposes its low position in society. But here's the catch. This mechanism of serotonin and dominance hierarchy has not really evolved much since millions of years ago, so it's a bit outdated. Back then, when we used to live in tribes, there were not so many people in one tribe. I heard somewhere it's around 100 to 200 people, can't remember. So let's say you're in the 65th percentile, you're only below 35 people. But let's look at today's society, hundreds of millions of people. When you're in the 65th percentile, which is pretty average, you're automatically below tens of millions of people. And we human beings cannot perceive huge number very well. So even when you are in the 90th percentile, 10 million people above you and 90 million other people below you seems to be no different. The only thing you see is one sea of people and the other sea of people. Besides, in the long distant past, there was only one main dominance hierarchy, which is physical strength, because we had to go hunting and fight enemies. These days, there are countless dominance hierarchies. People in the modern societies contribute their value in countless different ways. Now, not only we compare ourselves with the people in our friend groups, in our city, in our country, but also people beyond our country. So when you talk about dominance hierarchy, which dominance hierarchy that you're talking about? And because this notion of dominance hierarchy is now so vague and hard to grasp, we tend to grab whatever materialistic and straightforward to make them become our measurements. It could be the amount of money that we earn, the school that we go to, or the size of the company that we work for, so on and so on. And that is not fair. All in all, the more I contemplate over this feeling of being average, this feeling of mediocrity, the more I see that it makes no sense at all, because it has no solid premise, and the more I think about it, the more I feel it's irrelevant. Why is it irrelevant? Okay, imagine yourself walking into an enchanted garden full of fairy lights and wonders, and you only have one ticket with a limited amount of time that you could spend there. Would you be like, I want to be the greatest man of all men who ever visit here? Or would you be like, holy shit, I want to see everything in this garden. I want to turn every leaf, touch every tip of the grass, smell every blow of the wind, and hear every sound of all creatures inhabiting here. The good news is, this world that we are living in here, right now, is a giant enchanted garden full of marvels.
You and this stuff are made of the same thing. This crazy fancy looking thing is mathematics. These clumsy, lazy ass creatures survived evolution while dinosaurs are extinct. Music, literature, landscape, architecture, humans building spaceships touching heaven, humans creating machines that outsmart humans. You, your emotions, sneaky little ideas you have in your head. How could you walk into this life without marveling at these wonders?
And it is so sad when we are spending our precious time here to be upset over a vague supposition that we are not good enough.
Chapter 3. The secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never forget the drops of oil on the spoon. After hearing all of this, some of you may tell me that, well, I don't have time to have my head in the clouds marveling at the beauty of this world because I have responsibility and my feeling is bound by how other people look at my achievement, and my mental well-being is tied with that. I would disagree with you. You are running away from achievement and recognition by putting your focus on recognition and achievement. Responsibility and curiosity are not mutually exclusive. Those people who have achieved great things in their life didn't start out by saying that I want to achieve great things in life. They started out by their endless curiosity and the will to improve themselves day by day. That mindset is what set them different from the rest of the world.
Dr. Dweck, who is the author of the book Minsets, contended that there are two types of mindset: fixed mindset and growth mindset. While people with fixed mindset often dwell on how others judge their intelligence and they internalize those judgments into their identity, people with growth mindset are not afraid of being wrong or of looking stupid, because the only thing they care about is how they could improve their knowledge about the things that they're interested in and how they could solve their problems better. While people with fixed mindset think that intelligence is something set in stone, people with growth mindset think that intelligence could be acquired by learning and practicing. So if you are currently dwelling on the fact that you're not good enough, you can change that mindset right now. If you have a job, even if you have been doing it for years, try to improve the quality and the efficiency of your work and be the best at it in your company. Look around to see if there's any problem, no matter how big or small. Fix it, one small step at a time. If you are a uni student, be curious and dig deep into the topics that you're learning, regardless of what you currently have in your plate. I believe that there's always room for improvement.
Final chapter. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Forest Gump is the best movie that has artfully and subtly incorporated this idea. Forrest Gump, despite being intellectually disabled, achieved not only one great thing, but multiple great things in his life. He was awarded Medal of Honor by the president for his service in the Vietnam War. He became so good at ping pong that he was invited to a talk show alongside with John Lennon. He became a millionaire with his shrimping business after he left the army. Then when being heartbroken after Jenny left, he went running. He completed a 3-year-long marathon, and for that, he became a national celebrity. What set Forrest Gump apart is not that he had ambition. In fact, he didn't have any. The thing is, he only focused on one thing at a time, which is the task either he assumed or was given. He treated his tasks as an end and not as a mean to an end. Often people do something because they are hoping for something in return. Consequently, they get distracted by the things that are beyond their control, and that's a mistake. From my personal experience, the achievements that make me proud the most are those that came unexpectedly when I was still carried away by solving problems, thinking what I could do better or what more I could learn. When I was a kid, learning to me was a torture. Schools taught me to be scared of low grades, of being wrong. Only when I went to uni, I started to love learning, and it was such a strange feeling. When I got undesirable marks, instead of feeling down like before, I felt so motivated. And it's like a switch that turned on in my head, and until now I still have no idea what had turned the switch on. I hope that this video could help you in any way, because this is exactly the thought process that has helped me get out of that rut, the rut of feeling average. Please feel free to share with me your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to know. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in my next video.